AI has made it super easy to create meta ads in minutes that convert like crazy without the need for a designer, a photographer, or a model. Literally, now all you need is a little bit of time and the skills I'm going to teach you in this video. So I'm going to dig into the 3 tools I combine. They're all really low cost, really simple to use, no design skills needed. All you need is some images of your product and you can create hundreds of ads at scale that convert. So I'm Jessie Healy. I'm an exited agency founder turned e-commerce coach and consultant. I've spent over $50 million on digital advertising and I've scaled over 100 e-commerce brands. Let's dive into the content. Okay, so the first tool we're going to dive into is ChatGPT. Now I have a paid subscription for this. I think it's around $20 a month. I recommend having the paid subscription because there's just so many extra features that it allows you to work with. So you'll need to pay for that to get the access to all of the tools I'm going to show you. So the first thing we're going to do is we open up ChatGPT here and we are going to click in here and use create image. So make sure that that's selected there. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to upload a couple of images that I'm going to use. I'm going to ask ChatGPT to put them together. So I have a board that I use, which I will share the link to this below the video, which has a whole lot of ad template. You can use one of these templates from this board, or you could potentially just find an ad that you like. You want to copy the same sort of style. So find the ad that you want, make sure it's downloaded on your computer, ready to upload. And then the other thing you're going to need is an image of your product. So I'm going to upload the 2 of those to ChatGPT. So I've got them already in my downloads here. So I've uploaded those and I've typed in the prompt. This is my product to put into this ad template. This product is good for energy, sleep, and helps you generally thrive. Use the exact same bottle. Don't change how the product looks at all. Okay, so my prompt here isn't super detailed. The more detailed your prompt, the better the output's going to be, right? So for demo purposes, I've just put in a quick prompt, but what you might want to put is a whole lot of more detailed benefits and product information. You can put the exact text that you want to include in the image. You could include information about the persona you're trying to target. There's a lot of things you could put in there, but just for simple demonstration purposes, I'm just showing you how quick and easy it is just with a very simple prompt to do this. So with this template here, which is this, and with the product image here, which is this is what it's put together for me. So it's created an ad that is not too bad. Because my template has some kind of guidance to it, it's not a real ad that I've used. The text isn't quite right here. So you've got a few options at this point. You could ask ChatGPT to change the text in here. Now, in my experience, that can take quite a bit of time. So the reason why I sped things up in this video is it can take a minute or 2 sometimes for these ads to load. And we're all short of time. The whole idea of this is to work really fast. So what I'm going to suggest is that you use ChatGPT to create the first kind of draft of the image. And then we're going to go over into Canva and we're going to manipulate it in Canva. And I'm going to show you how to do that in a second. But I just wanted to demonstrate a bit more about what ChatGPT can do in terms of creating images for you. So that's example number 1. We can download that so we can use that later. Right, so the next one is I've just prompted it. Create an image of a dark-skinned woman holding this product near her face. No text, plain background. So I prompted that in and in a few minutes it generated this image here. Now, as you can see, when we go up here and look at this product image, firstly, I didn't upload a very high resolution big image of the product. So doing so would probably help a little bit, but you can see it doesn't quite look as good, but it's a pretty good for an ad. If we, if we brought the text size of the image size down a little bit, potentially your brand team or yourself, if you're the brand owner, might be happy with this, maybe not. We might need to refine it a bit, prompt it a little bit more, give it a much bigger image, but generally, I'm pretty happy with this. The model looks beautiful, she looks really photorealistic, and she's holding my product, which is absolutely awesome. So I can download this for use in various different ways. I could upload this again to ChatGPT and ask it to add another template as well, would be another thing I could do. Now, what I've also asked, just as an experiment, I've said, great, can you have it clutching the product a bit more so that the label is not quite as obvious? In this case, what ChatGPT has done is like kind of remove the label completely. As this looks pretty similar to my bottle, maybe this would be okay for this brand, and maybe we could have an image of the product kind of overlaid here, play around with it a little bit. So that might work better if you can't get the label to work. The big challenge with ChatGPT at the moment is getting writing to work. It's not quite there yet, but I expect to see this improve very much over the next coming weeks and months. By the time you're watching this video, it may well be a little bit better at doing this now than it is right now. So that's an example of how we're using ChatGPT to get images to be either added into a template like this, which we can further update over on Canva, and then also to insert images into product images into a model holding the product. I'll just show you another quick example here of how I have done this. I uploaded a different template, this one here with the model with the pill in her mouth, and then this kind of nice layout showing the 30-day evolution of how she's going to be feeling. And in the first instance, I asked it to overlay the product image over the top. Didn't do a very good job in terms of layout, but I'm going to show you over in Canva how we can fix that. And then this example here, I've asked it to now create the same, but instead have her holding the bottle, keep the label of the bottle exactly as it is in the image I've uploaded. And this is what it's done here. So in this case, ChatGPT's got a little bit confused because the product I'm talking about isn't the same as the product image I've uploaded. I think if we had the exact product that we were mentioning in the prompt, then it would be likely that it would be holding the product a little bit like the other example we showed. But you can see how we've got this model, we've got this kind of template added, and we've got the product being held by the model. Pretty good first iteration. We can download that and we can go and play with this in Canva. Okay, so let's open up Canva and I'm going to show you how we're going to take the images we've started in ChatGPT and take them into Canva to quickly edit them and manipulate them how we need to. What I found is ChatGPT is a great starting point for pulling in a template and an image and putting it together in a really great creative way, but then editing and making the tiny edits that you want, changing the text, moving things around, it doesn't seem to work so well yet with ChatGPT. So that's where I'm diving in and using Canva. So what I've done is I've downloaded those images from ChatGPT and I've uploaded them here into my Canva here. And you can see I've uploaded all those images that I created. And now we can go ahead and start manipulating them. So let's take this first one here. We've popped it on this page here. Now, as you can see, this has a bit of a background color to it, which is, I think it's a little crowded. There's not quite enough room around this. I like a more of a clean, minimal aesthetic on my ads. I think it creates more of a premium feel. So what I'm going to do first and foremost, I'm going to use the first tool. So this edit button here is absolutely your best friend, and this Magic Studio is what we're going to be mostly using to manipulate this image. So Magic Studio has a very cool little tool called Magic Expand. So what it does is it takes the image and expands the sides of it outwards for you. So we're going to use Magic Expand and we're going to expand it out to the whole page, which will hopefully it'll understand that background just needs to stretch out. So we're just going to click that expand button and wait for that to generate. It does take a few minutes, but once it's done, we'll be able to play around with this. Cool. So what you can see it's done here is, for some reason, the last time I did this didn't happen. This time it has. AI is really hard to predict sometimes, but it's created all these weird sort of things around the edge, which is not what we want, but luckily there's a tool for that as well. So we're going to just click done. And actually you can see it's given us a few options here. We can see which one we like. I mean, that's kind of fun for a little bit of a, something different. You could use that, but I don't really like it. What I just wanted was plain. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick with this one. I'm going to click done, but I'm going to use another really cool AI tool, which is this Magic Eraser. Now you can change the size of the brush here like this, and that allows you to if you're working on something very fine or very not so fine. So I'll just use the middle of this, and this is great for scrubbing out images that you don't, or bits in the background of an image that you don't want to be there. But let's just get this all off. Got to make sure we wipe it properly like this, and we've got to get this bordery bit off as well. And then we just click erase. Cool, and we've still got a little bit up here, so we'll just do that as well. And to me, that's pretty good. It's still got a bit of a shadow here, which I'm just going to erase again. Sometimes you have to do a few goes at the erasing, and I'm just going to erase this logo as well so that we just have some space there. So we'll let that run. Cool. Now we've got a fairly blank canvas to work with, so we'll go with that. You might want to kind of brush it up a bit more, but let's get started just to show you the tools. So let's go back from Magic Eraser. We're back in Magic Studio here. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to want to change this text. We might want to change the font, we might want to change the message, but we definitely want to change the text in various ways. So we're going to go here and we're going to select grab text, which is a very cool tool that turns the text that was hard coded into that image, not normally edited by Canva, and allows you to be able to edit it. So we just click on the ones that we think we're going to want to edit. If you had any issues with the text on your label being wrong, you could click that as well and we could edit that, but I'm not going to do that right now. So we click on grab here and we let it generate, and then it's going to give us the ability to edit it. So now we can go in here. Oops, what you need to do is unclick all of them, click that one, and we're going to click feeling tired and lethargic. And you're able to select the font. So if you didn't like the font that ChatGPT made, you can select your brand fonts, etc. And we can kind of make it bigger or whatever we want to do here. And we can fix the spelling, of course. We can go in and fix all of these and turn them into what we want them to. This one, we might want to make it a little bit bigger. I can see we've still got a few kind of weird things happening over here that I don't quite like. Generally, we might want to expand the size of the overall image. We can play around with it now, but now we've got all these elements that we can play around with. Another thing you could experiment with is if you're not loving how your product has turned out, like how the labels turned out here, we can use another tool. So we want to go back to, into the edit here, this edit button. Sometimes it disappears, but you just got to go and find it. So we're going to go magic grab. So this one is where we're going to be able to grab the, hopefully the image of the product. So this is letting me grab the product image here, and I can grab it. And then what it will allow me to do is if I want to delete it, and I could insert instead another cutout image into that. Obviously the hand looks pretty weird underneath because AI wasn't expecting to have that uncovered, but you could then take a perfect cutout image of your product and lay that on top of that if you weren't happy with how the image kind of looked. The key thing with that is to remember that what AI has tried to do here is actually kind of like the fingers overlapping a little bit. It's maybe got a little bit of a shadow that makes it look a bit more realistic when it's being held. So it's kind of up to you whether you want to try and get the image of this packaging perfect, or do you want to kind of let it be just more of a bit of a representation but look more realistic and photorealistic the way it's being held. So that's an example of how we can kind of take an image created by ChatGPT and do some fast edits to get it turned into an ad. Now obviously this is a pretty rough version. I don't think this is quite ready to use as an ad, but it's a pretty good start and probably just needs a few more tweak, and there you go. Without any design skills, you've been able to create that. Okay, so let's dive into another example. This is another image that we just created in a couple of minutes with ChatGPT. Now we're going to go ahead and enhance it and add some elements to it. So this one here, we've got this image of this woman with the product. Now we might want to change the background. So the quickest way to do that is to use this. You probably used this one before, but background remover. So we'll get the background off this image and we can look at changing the background. So we might want to add, for instance, a scene like this, and we can pop this on here, and then we want to send that to the back, and then we've got this. We need to make this woman a bit bigger. Why not? Here we've got an image that is of a woman kind of in a bit more of an exotic setting. Now that image was generated using the by clicking into elements here. We can go in here to generate your own image, and you can type in, seaside scene. So that was one I created earlier, and you can click generate images and it will create some images for you. You can also create videos here. So you could have seaside scene, generate video. It'll take a couple of minutes, but we can create a video that could be running in the background of this image for you. Okay, so let's try again with this video as the background. We're going to put this in here. So we can now put this into our whole scene, and we can take this, copy it, paste it, and now we've got a video. I'm not sure if that's exactly something that I would want to use as an ad, but you never know. It depends what you're trying to communicate here, and there's plenty of creative executions of this that you might want to use to enhance your product storytelling or the message of your ad. Okay, so I've now shown you most of the tools in the Magic Studio and Canva, which I absolutely love for doing this kind of image manipulation that's a little bit more AI based. So just to recap on what we've shown you here, I've shown you the background remover, magic eraser, magic grab, which allows you to isolate certain elements and move them around within your canvas. We've done grab text, which allows you to actually edit text that was hard-coded into the image. And we've done magic expand, but I'll show you a little bit more of magic expand in just a sec. The final tool in the Magic Studio I wanted to show you is magic edit. And by the way, none of this video is sponsored by any of these tools I'm using. I pay for these tools, I use them every day, and I'm sharing them with you because I absolutely love them. So magic edit is a really fun tool for being able to add an element into your image. So magic edit, this one here, we click this, and what it's going to allow us to do is add some element to this image. So let's say we want to have a plane flying by, airplane flying in the distance. And let's see if it can do that. Yep, cool. So it's given us a few choices here. We can have one there, or this one here. I like this one here. So done. And there it is, added into the image. So you can think that there's lots of creative ways you could use to kind of illustrate the concept that you're trying to communicate with the ad. So that is magic edit. Lots of fun stuff you can do with that. Okay, so the final tool I want to show you that's inside this Magic Studio, underneath the edit button here and then Magic Studio here, is this magic expand, which is a super cool tool to make images that you might have that you want to make them bigger or wider, you want to create more space in them, you want to change the shape of them, all of that. So in this case, I've got this image of me with a nice kind of background, and I'm going to click whole page and I'm going to click expand. Cool, so I think that's done a pretty good job. Now I've got a lot more space where I could enter text if I wanted to, or add elements. I could add a bird or, someone swimming in the lake, whatever I want to add, but that's made that image much more easy to work with through a little bit of use of AI. So you can see how that could be quite useful for developing different types of ads. The final tool I want to show you is Sooner AI Studio, which allows you to upload images, cut out images of your product that you've taken with a photographer at home or whatever, and put them into all sorts of different studio settings and backgrounds. But this tool is actually designed specifically for product images because it adds the kind of shadowing and other design elements that make the product look more realistically like it's sitting inside a setting. And by generating these kind of images, you can improve your website with having more kind of high quality images, but you can also use them to create ads because you can create those images with the backgrounds and then combine them with ChatGPT by putting them into template, adding text over the top, etc. But because this tool is designed specifically for putting products into situations, it's a really good way to do that really realistically. That's maybe slightly better than ChatGPT at putting a product in a beautiful kind of background or setting. So without further ado, let's jump in. So it's sooner.co/AI. Again, not sponsored by the tool at all. Scroll down here and you want to click on try it for free here. You'll quickly generate an account, which takes like a minute. They just want an email and a password, and then that takes you in here into the tool. Now you get 20, you can generate 20 free images, which I've already used up my 20 here, but I'm going to show you a few examples of them. And for $20, around about $20 a month, you can actually generate lots of images every month. So let's have a look at how it works. So what you would do, you'd start by adding media, which is where you can there upload the images. So you can see some of the ones that I've uploaded here. The one I'm going to show you is this image here of a kind of a pump bottle. It's not the best quality image that I've used here, and I also did one with this vase, so to show you the kind of things that you can output from it. So this is an example of what I created with this vase, put it into this kind of nice setting, and actually pretty damn realistic. So that was the vase, and then a few examples here of this one. I've managed to put it in this setting here, and you have the ability to kind of move this product and make it bigger, so it sits within this setting a little bit better. And then a few more examples here of this setting here, so slightly different. This one already had some products in it, but you might choose one that doesn't have that, and then you're putting it into this kind of beautiful black sleek sort of setting. And the other thing it allows you to do is actually add props into your layout. So these aren't the best examples of, it's kind of added these kind of leaves and things in here. You can play around with adding props, maybe to make more seasonal images, that kind of thing, Halloween, autumn, spring, that kind of thing, or kind of holiday style images. Quite an easy way to kind of add a little bit more interest to your photos. So the AI scenes beta is this bit here, and this is where you'll be able to select from lots of different scenes on the left hand side. So this section here is how you can add kind of props. So in this case, I've added this leaf here, but you can search for any kind of prop you want to add. You might want to add, drink bottle next to it. So you can search for drink bottle. What it gives you is these like drawn illustrations, which are much quicker and easier to kind of illustrate and move them around. And then once you pop them in here like this, when you actually generate the image, it will make it photorealistic. So in the example of this leaf here, originally when I pulled the leaf in, it was just a drawing, but then you pop this in there and then you click generate props, and it will actually put those props onto your scene. And then the other thing you have is the scenes here, where you can pick from various different scenes, and it allows you to, it's not showing up here right now, but it allows you to select these different scenes that I was able to select here. So you can choose between different scenes, toggle between them, and find scenes to put your product in. So really cool tool. You can generate 20 free images initially. Give it a go, see if you like it. Might be something you build into your workflow for creating a whole lot more variety of imagery to use in your ads. So that's it. That's the 3 tools I use to create hundreds of ads with very little effort that convert like crazy in the ad accounts that I have access to. If you like this content, don't forget to subscribe. But also, if you feel like you want a little bit more help from me in growing your e-commerce brand, if you feel a little bit stuck, maybe you have created some good ads, but they're not converting and you're not sure why, or you're not sure how to grow your e-commerce brand, book a chat with me. It's completely free. We'll jump into your ad account. We'll have a look at your ads. We'll discuss your business and what you've tried and help figure out the next step for you to get your e-commerce brand growing. The link to book is just below this video, and I look forward to seeing you soon.